And now is Research Director Professor Mia Swart from the Human Sciences Research Council. Prof, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Look, a long-awaited ruling. What was your reaction upon hearing the news this morning?
Well, I'm sure there's widespread happiness and relief at the judgment. We've known for a while that Shaun Abrahams is not the correct candidate to be in that position, and that we need a much more independent NDPP. The question now, of course, is, whether the situation will improve with the next NDPP, because we've had this hope again and again in the past, and we have constantly, repeatedly been disappointed.
Professor, look, a very clear judgment indeed. I mean, that outlined every aspect of this matter, the abuse of power, the fact that Nxasana can also not be reinstated to his former position and must pay back some of that money. I mean, but do you think that Abrahams or even Nxasana himself were both a victim of the former presidency here?
Well, I think putting it in that way is too strong. I think that Nxasana was wrong to have accepted the money, and I think that the court made a very good, strong point there, and it's a point that should strengthen integrity in this country. People should realize that golden handshakes, are morally dubious very often, and that they should actually not just take what is offered. I think that that's a very, very strong point that needs to be reinforced. It's an unconventional judgment, because one would expect the fact that his removal was invalid to have resulted in him being reinstated. That would have been the conventional expectation and judgment. So it is unusual, it's unconventional, but I think that the court justifies this by frowning upon the fact that he took the money, and also we know that there was a murder charge hanging over his head. We know that was never fully investigated. So I would say that going forward, there is no reason to appoint someone with some charge hanging over his head. I mean, we should appoint people with integrity. They should be fit and proper people, and there should be a thorough background check. I mean, what has happened so far has just been ridiculous.
Absolutely. And Prof, I mean, while we're still discussing that golden handshake, let's talk even further. Do you feel that Nxasana should have been ordered to repay just the 10 mil? And why not the rest of the amount, you think?
As far as I understand from the Mail and Guardian's report, the 6-7 million is being held for tax purposes. So indirectly it is going to the state. He's not keeping any of the 17 million.
All right. And Prof, look now, let's talk about this. A lot of people, and we've just seen reaction from the political parties here, talking to this fact that the credibility here of the NPA was largely damaged with the scandal. What, in your view now, will restore the image and convince South Africans that this body is fully independent?
Well, first and foremostly, Cyril Ramaphosa, our new president, has to put his money where his mouth is, so to speak. We know that, he made a promise during the State of the Nation speech that he would prosecute corruption and that no stone will be left unturned to prosecute corruption. And we simply haven't seen enough prosecutions so far. We haven't seen enough sensitive prosecutions proceeding. So we need someone, an exceptional person, an exceptionally forceful and independent person. And if the state, is not capable of appointing such a person because it has over 10 years failed to appoint such a person, then maybe they should amend the Constitution and create a new kind of body or office or structure. But we cannot, we've had 7 directors of public prosecution over the last 10, 12 years, which is simply a farce.
Absolutely. And Prof, I mean, while we're still also discussing the credibility of the body, the president is still in the midst of determining whether or not Lawrence Mxolisi and Nomgcobo Jiba are fit to hold office. Another dent in the image, seeing the back and forth in court and seemingly flouted processes in appointing and dismissing of staff at this body.
Absolutely. Again, there are many qualified candidates out there who would do a good job, and people should simply be, removed if they flout the rules of decency and integrity and honesty in any way.
And Prof, while we're talking about exceptional and capable individuals, any names that come to your head when thinking about the next NDDP, say Thuli Madonsela or something?
want to go down that road, but I see the speculation is that one of the deputy prosecutors will be appointed, and I don't see any reason why it necessarily has to be. I think, some fresh blood would be wonderful.
Professor, you ducked my question there. Thank you so much for your input. That is Professor Mia Swart, the Research Director at the HSRC, also giving us another view on today's Constitutional Court ruling, setting aside Shaun Abrahams' appointment as the NDDP.